Talk Eli podcast. Great to have you guys with me for another edition of Sports Talk Eli. We are in the midst of the NBA playoffs today. We're gonna be talking about the Lakers, the Nuggets, what's next for the Warriors, what's next for the Knicks, the Celtics and Sixers, who are about to clash in the epic Game 7. Hopefully the Sixers can get that monkey off their back. We're going to talk about some NFL stuff. So, if you're watching this on YouTube or you're streaming this on the many podcast apps that I plan on doing this on, thank you for tuning in. We'll start off today's show with this. Los Angeles Lakers advance to the Western Conference Finals, defeating the NBA World Champion Golden State Warriors 122 to 102. I probably got the score wrong. For the Warriors, there has been tweets and people talking dynasty over. I personally don't think the dynasty's over. I think they're gonna definitely try to keep Draymond Green this offseason, and they're gonna try to retool around that roster of Steph, Clay, and Draymond. The problem with the Warriors, I feel, even though they won their last championship without Kevin Durant last season, they tried to do this weird mixture where they try to go younger and build for the future while having a big core three. And I don't think trying to retool and rebuild and like try to be competitive and win a championship, I don't think that's something that typically works, which was kind of weird on their part. Now, I definitely think that they're always gonna have a chance as long as they have Stephen Curry, who's a future Hall of Famer, Klay Thompson, another future Hall of Famer, and Draymond Green, another future Hall of Famer. But the pieces around them definitely has to improve. You still got Wiggins. You still got Kevin Looney, but it's still question marks around the guys like Jordan Poole. If that's a piece that you might want to trade. I know Johnny Kuminga has been liking some tweets. When the NBA players disgruntled, they go on Twitter and start liking tweets for whatever reason, one reason or another, which can't blame the brother. He didn't get much burn in this year's playoffs or during the regular season for that fact. So if he wants to go to a situation where he can grow and actually improve as a player, then I don't blame him. They traded Wiseman during the trade deadline, so that's something too. But yeah, personally, I feel that if the Warriors want to stay competitive and want to still compete for championships, they definitely have to retool this roster. You gotta get some more size. The Warriors are known as a jump shooting team, but having another big up front to play next to Looney might really be beneficial for the Golden State Warriors. And of course, more older veteran players. I know they want the young guys to build for the future, but more veteran players. I think back to the Spurs' dynasty. They always found a way to retool the roster around Duncan, Ginobili, and Park. Either it was having guys like Patty Mills and Kawhi Leonard and Boris Diaw in the latest years, or that one year they had Michael Finley. So yeah, I typically compare it to that. Now on to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers advance. They will play the Denver Nuggets on Tuesday, and I'm excited. I'm not a Laker fan. I am surprised by this deep playoff run. I knew they could do something. Once I saw that they went out and made the trades during the deadline, I knew they were going to be able to make some shake in the playoffs, but I wasn't thinking conference finals. Fact of the matter is, this Laker team started off the season 2-10. You had Westbrook. You had Pat Beverly. You're starting guys like Matt Ryan. And we ain't talking about the quarterback either. You start off 2-10, and you've had some significant moments throughout the season. Like you had a stretch of games like Anthony Davis was going crazy before he got injured, and then you had LeBron breaking Kareem's record. But the significant moment when things got serious for the Lakers is during the NBA trade deadline, when they went out and got guys like D'Angelo Russell, when they went out and got guys like Jared Vanderbilt, who have been big for them during this playoff run. Now their next test is taking down the Denver Nuggets on a way to an NBA championship. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not too sure if the Lakers can beat the Nuggets. I personally think it's going to go the distance. I can see this series going to 6-7. But I got the Nuggets beating them. But if the Lakers want to have a chance in the series, Anthony Davis has to play big. And he has to. One thing about AD this season, he has had stretches where he would have a game where he goes off. He'll have a 32-15 game. Next game, he'll have like 15 points and 8 rebounds. Anthony Davis has to show up, especially since he's playing against another really dominant center on the other side in Nikola Jokic. If I'm AD, I'm coming in with the chip in my shoulder. Like, people, we talk about Embiid, we talk about Giannis, we talk about Jokic. What about me? What about me? What about me? I'm Anthony Davis. I'm going to remind. This is the series that he needs to remind the world why he's one of the best big men in basketball. And personally, if he dogs Jokic, he has a chance to prove that he's the best big man in basketball. Last 2 seasons, it's the basement between Embiid, Jokic, and then Embiid's right there. I mean, not Embiid. Anthony Davis is right there. He has a chance to put himself in that conversation. Another thing for the Lakers is their role players have to step up too. And there's also been stretches with guys like DeAndre Russell, for example, who will play poorly, or Austin Reeves will play poorly. Those guys have to step up too. And also comes down to coaching. Can Darvin Ham do the magic with the X's and O's to outcoach Mike Malone? It should be interesting. It should be fun to see. Now we got to talk about the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, off a really great season where they won 47 games, lose in the Eastern Conference semifinals to the Miami Heat. The Heat. Okay, we're gonna start with the Heat before we dive into the Knicks. The Miami Heat have a chance to play either the Boston Celtics or the Philadelphia 76ers in the conference finals. And what story has it been? A team that was kind of mid during the regular season, they go in the play-in, they take down teams like the Chicago Bulls, they get that 8th seed, they knock out the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks, a team that it seems like the Heat and the Bucks are always playing each other in the playoffs, and it's like they seem like they always have their number. Jimmy Butler just goes crazy throughout that whole series, and now they're in the conference finals. This Heat team has been such a surprising team, and it's been such a fun ride to see them back in this position. Last year, they were in the conference finals, and I still, during the offseason, I still had them as one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. And this playoff run has shown that they are the better team in playoff experience. I think they're more of a playoff team than they are a regular season team. But yeah, hopefully we'll break down the series on what I expect for them, and when we figure out who they're gonna play, of course. Back to the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks had a big time performance from Jalen Brunson, who dropped 41 points. 41 big ones on the Heat in Game 6, but it wasn't enough to seal them to win, to get the Game 7 back in the Garden. Listen, the New York Knicks had a strong season. At the beginning of the year, I was talking about, they got to blow the roster up. They got to tank for Victor Wembanyama. But they proved me wrong. Them boys definitely proved me wrong. They had a really good season this year. I wasn't expecting the 47 wins. I wasn't expecting Jalen Brunson to be. I thought he was going to be a good player, but he proved to be a really productive player. But if I'm the Knicks, this was a successful season. I wouldn't blow up the roster if there is. I know there's some people who say, hey, this superstar might be disgruntled. Let's blow up the roster and trade for him. I wouldn't do that personally. I would keep the roster. I would continue to see what I'm getting from the young guys, what I'm getting for RJ Barrett, what I'm getting for Q Grimes, what I'm getting from Miles McBride, who played some really good minutes in the playoffs, what I'm getting from Mitch Robinson. Julius Randle has to play better in the playoffs, though, however. That man has to play better in the playoffs. You can't be an all-NBA caliber player during the and not show up in the playoffs. Like, come on, man. Come on. This is the second time. He didn't show up in the New York series either. And that's really getting really weird. So, as I said, I'm the Knicks. I would do whatever. I would keep this roster and keep it rolling and just keep the camaraderie. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk some NFL on Sports Talk Eli. And we're back. So, something funny happened during my little break. While I was resting my voice, the Phoenix Suns just fired Monty Williams. And I'm like, no way. They really just fired that man. It's kind of weird because Monty Williams was the guy who pretty much he brought the culture to that franchise. Similar to what your boy Mike Brown did in Sacramento. Helped bring some culture and stability to that franchise. Monty did the same thing for the Suns back in 2017. He took them to the finals for the first time since 1993. Coached them to the finals, I should say. And they've been relatively competitive. Even having some seasons where we thought that they were the team that could win it all. And we still thought that when they went out and made the trade for Kevin Durant. It seems more like Monty Williams is the scapegoat. This firing is more of him being the scapegoat rather than them just the Suns saying, hey, let's run it back and let's retool the roster around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And that's what I think they were going to do. They're going to definitely retool that roster because they have to improve that bench. How they do that, when you move most of your assets to the Nets, is something that I'm intrigued to see. They probably definitely will try to sign some guys. They'll try to definitely get off that Chris Paul contract. CP3 is not the same player, and I know for the fact that they don't want to. I think next year his I'm blanking on the word, but it's something with his contract. It increases, so they're gonna probably want to get off that money. I think I'll put it in the caption if I don't remember the word. Fact of the matter is, it stinks to see the Suns just fire Monty Williams like that. And I understand. It's understandable if they're gonna do it. I haven't read the details, so I don't know. This is just an instant reaction. Maybe I'll look back at this video. The next episode, we'll do a deep dive on why they fired him. But I think this might have to do with the fact that they unceremoniously got their asses kicked in the playoffs against the Denver Nuggets. And the year before, Luka goes off in Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals, and they get their asses kicked in the playoffs then. But those two losses are just bad, just really bad losses from that franchise. But I'm interested to see what the Suns are gonna do. I'm interested to see who they hire as a head coach. Maybe it might be Nick Nurse. Maybe it might be Mike Budenholzer. Maybe there's another name out there that deserves a coaching guy. There's one guy, I'm blanking on his name. He coached the Nets, and the Nets that year they had D'Angelo Russell. He seemed like he's a really good coach. But yeah, well, we'll see. Definitely intriguing to find out. Now, our next segment, I wanted to dive into the NFL. The NFL revealed their regular season schedule last week, and there are 4 bangers that I'm excited to see. Number 1, we have the Buffalo Bills taking on the Jets in Week 1. The Bills, a team that many people thought probably was going to go to the Super Bowl or at least go to the AFC Championship game against the newly looked Jets with Aaron Rodgers. How's Aaron Rodgers going to look in a Jets uniform against a really good Bills team? I can't wait to find out. Number 2 is Week 8, the Jets and the Giants. Both New York teams were really good last year. Well, the Jets kind of tailed off the end of the season, but the Giants made the playoffs for the first time in how long? And the Jets have Aaron Rodgers and a retool offense. Let's see who's the best team in New York. I'm excited to see that matchup as well. Then, fast forward to week 11, we get a Super Bowl rematch between the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Will the Eagles get the best of the Chiefs this time? That we might possibly get a Super Bowl rematch. That could be a potential Super Bowl preview for Super Bowl 50. I think it's 53. Yeah, 53. Who's gonna win that game? Two elite level quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. Two really fun offenses. It's gonna be a great game. That's gonna be a great game. And my final one is Carolina. Believe it or not, Carolina, Atlanta. How good is Bryce Young gonna look? Assuming he's the day one starter, how good is Bryce Young gonna look in the NFL? Atlanta should be a good test. That's not a really good team, but still should be a really, really good test for Carolina. By the way, that division, the NFC South, early predictions, I have the Saints winning it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina does something. The Panthers looked really good last year at some points last season, and Brady's gone. It seemed like it's up for grabs. I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina does something, even though I have the Saints taking it. So, I think that's about it. This has been Sports Talk Eli. My name is Elijah Hamilton, the host of Sports Talk Eli. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. We out. Peace.